It happened quietly. No emergency UN session, no presidential address, no breaking news, Chiron crawling across your screen at midnight. The world looked away, and North Korea did exactly what it had been planning to do for decades. It crossed the line. And here's the terrifying part. We all saw it coming. Every analyst, every satellite image, every defector testimony screamed the same warning. Yet here we are, in 2026, watching the most isolated and weaponized regime on the planet enter a new chapter, one that changes the rules of global security forever. This is not a drill. This is not speculation. This is the story the world is struggling to tell itself. To understand what North Korea has done, you first have to understand what North Korea is. The Democratic People's Republic of Korea, ruled by the Kim dynasty for over 7 decades, has never been a nation playing by international rules. It has been a nation rewriting them, one sanction at a time, one missile test at a time, one nuclear warhead at a time. For years, the global community operated on a quiet assumption that Kim Jong-un's nuclear program was a bargaining chip, a dramatic gesture designed to bring the United States and its allies to the negotiating table that eventually, some deal, some agreement, would pull North Korea back from the edge. That assumption is now dead. According to analysts at the Stimson Center and the Arms Control Association, North Korea is no longer building leverage. It is building permanence. The regime has moved past the phase of wanting recognition. It now operates from a position of nuclear certainty. Pyongyang no longer needs a deal. It has the bomb, multiple bombs, and it has the missiles to deliver them across the Pacific Ocean. That changes everything. So what exactly did North Korea do that crossed this so-called point of no return? Several things happening simultaneously that, taken together, paint a picture far more alarming than any single headline. First, North Korea has successfully miniaturized nuclear warheads small enough to be fitted onto intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, capable of reaching the continental United States. This is no longer a theoretical capability. This is an operational one. Second, Pyongyang has dramatically expanded its nuclear arsenal. Independent estimates now place the number of North Korean nuclear warheads at somewhere between 50 and 90, with production continuing at a pace that could push that number past 200 by the end of this decade. That puts North Korea in the same general category as Pakistan, India, and Israel, countries the world long ago accepted as de facto nuclear states. Third, and perhaps most alarming, North Korea has formalized its nuclear doctrine. In 2022, Kim Jong-un signed a law codifying the conditions under which North Korea would use nuclear weapons first, not as retaliation. First, this is a regime that has legally enshrined preemptive nuclear strikes into national policy, and the world? The world issued a statement of concern. Here is where the story becomes not just about North Korea, but about us, about the international community's staggering failure to respond with anything resembling urgency. The United Nations Security Council has been rendered functionally useless on this issue. China and Russia, both permanent members with veto power, have blocked every meaningful sanctions resolution in recent years. Why? Because a stable nuclear North Korea serves their strategic interests. It keeps U.S. military attention divided. It creates a buffer state on China's border. It bleeds American diplomatic bandwidth that might otherwise be focused on Taiwan or Ukraine. Meanwhile, the United States has cycled through administrations, each inheriting the North Korea problem, and each discovering, to their immense frustration, that there is no clean solution. Military action risks catastrophic casualties, not just on the Korean peninsula, but in Seoul, a city of 10 million people sitting just 35 miles from the DMZ. Diplomacy has been tried and failed spectacularly, from the agreed framework of 1994, to the six-party talks, to the dramatic Singapore summit of 2018 that produced warm handshakes and absolutely zero verified denuclearization. The diplomatic playbook is exhausted. And in that vacuum, North Korea kept building. But the most recent and perhaps most consequential development isn't a missile test or a nuclear warhead. It's a pair of boots on the ground in Europe. Reports confirm that North Korea deployed thousands of soldiers to support Russia's war effort in Ukraine. This wasn't a rumor. This wasn't propaganda. This was verified by South Korean intelligence, by U.S. officials, and by footage circulating from the front lines. Think about what that means for a moment. A regime that has spent decades under international isolation, cut off from trade, from technology, from the global financial system, just inserted itself into one of the most significant geopolitical conflicts of the 21st century. And in exchange, Russia is almost certainly providing advanced military technology, satellite capabilities, and hard currency that North Korea desperately needs. This is no longer North Korea playing defense. This is North Korea going on offense, projecting power beyond its borders for the first time in its modern history. Kim Jong-un isn't hiding in Pyongyang anymore. He's a player, and the world is treating it like background noise. For the average American watching this at home, the question is simple. Should I be worried? The honest answer is yes, but not in the way you might think. The risk is not that Kim Jong-un wakes up tomorrow and decides to launch a nuclear strike on Los Angeles. Deterrence, for all its imperfections, still functions. Kim Jong-un knows that a nuclear first strike on U.S. soil would mean the immediate and total annihilation of the North Korean regime. He values his own survival above everything else. The real risk is subtler, and it's threefold. 1. As North Korea's arsenal grows, the margin for error shrinks. Miscalculation, a military exercise misread as an attack, a communications failure during a crisis, becomes more dangerous with each passing year. 2. Proliferation. A nuclear-armed, cash-hungry North Korea is the world's most dangerous potential arms dealer. The knowledge, the technology, the materials, all of it carries a price tag, and there are buyers. 3. The precedent. If North Korea successfully becomes a normalized nuclear state, if the world's response to its weapons program is ultimately a collective shrug, then every other nation watching has learned a devastating lesson. If you build it, they will accept it. Iran is watching. Others are watching. North Korea's nuclear permanence doesn't just threaten South Korea and Japan, it threatens the entire architecture of nuclear nonproliferation that the world has spent 50 years constructing. So where does this leave us? There are no good options. There may not even be any decent options. That is the uncomfortable reality that policymakers in Washington, Seoul, and Tokyo are wrestling with behind closed doors, even as they project calm and confidence in public. Denuclearization, the stated goal of U.S. policy for 30 years, is, for all practical purposes, dead. North Korea will not give up its nuclear weapons. Full stop. They are the regime's ultimate insurance policy, the guarantee that no American president will ever order the invasion of Pyongyang the way one ordered the invasion of Baghdad. What remains is management, deterrence, containment, and hope, fragile, uncertain hope, that the regime's internal dynamics eventually produce change that external pressure never could. But management requires honesty. It requires the world to stop pretending this is a problem that can be wished away, negotiated away, or sanctioned away. North Korea has arrived, nuclear, armed, emboldened, and allied, however uncomfortably, with Russia. The world is pretending not to notice. The question is, how much longer can we afford to? The point of no return is not a moment in a movie. It doesn't come with a dramatic score or a countdown clock. It comes quietly, in the form of a missile test that the news cycle forgets by Wednesday, or a weapons law that gets buried beneath the day's other headlines. North Korea crossed that point. The evidence is overwhelming. The implications are enormous. And the world? The world changed the channel. Stay informed. Stay vigilant. Because the stories that don't trend are often the ones that matter most.